We're coming in hot to give you our hot takes on all the latest mental health news.
From headlines and memes to developments and breakthroughs.
We go into this show blind with the hopes of learning something new.
Before sharing some bunny hugs.
And leaving with our eyes wide open. I'm Nick.
And I'm Todd. And this is Mental Health Headline Hot Takes.
We're glad you're here. Hello, everyone. Welcome to this week's episode of Mental Health Headline Hot Takes with Nick and Todd. We're happy you're here. Todd, how are you doing today, my friend? Happy Monday. It's a Monday, everyone. Happy Monday.
Thank you. I'm off camera right now because I'm spinning the wheel, but I'm good. I forgot last week that Bunny Hugs Mental Health was my 3rd anniversary. So
that's right.
I just want to mention that.
Happy anniversary. I didn't realize it was 3. I thought it was 2.
Oh, no. I've been annoying people for a long time.
That's great.
Okay, and the wheel
right,
stopping.
let's spin it.
My choice.
Todd's choice. That's the normal stopping point, so it makes sense.
I'm feeling generous, and I'll let you have this one first.
Oh, well, you shouldn't have. But okay, because I got a good one today. It's funny because I realized recently with my podcast, I'm actually like very stream of thought with my guests, more so than I really realized I was, where it's kind of like what's on my mind. And then I kind of like go find a guest that supports that. So it's like,
right.
Yeah, it's kind of like interesting. I've realized that about myself the last few months, but same thing here today. I was kind of looking for something that I thought would resonate with other people of what I'm thinking about right now. And that's where I got this article, which is from earth.com. And the article is titled, "Millions of Americans Have Lost Years of Time to Poor Mental Health." This is by Sanjana Gajbihai. I think it's, you can see it down low. Gajbihai is going to be my guess if you listen to this somehow. I apologize if that's not correct. But the reason that I picked this article was because I know that when I'm in a depressive state or in a valley, or I'm sorry, yeah, like, there's peaks and valleys. Yeah, valley. So when I'm in a valley, I sometimes feel like I don't know where the days go or where the time goes, or all of a sudden like an hour has passed and it feels like it's like 3 minutes. And so I often lately have been wondering kind of what is going on with me in that time that I could, like, what could I be doing? And so that when I saw this article, I was like, oh, I'm going to read this and bring this to the show. So, poor mental health and lost time is one of the sections. And there was a recent survey done here in America. It was conducted by GeneSight, which is a mental health monitoring company. And the survey states that 44% of Americans believe they've lost significant time due to mental health. And 80% of the people said that it's a heartbreaking sense of lost time from anxiety and or depression. And so that hits with exactly what I was just saying, right? And that one kind of stuck out with me, that it's heartbreaking to hear that people are losing so much time. It goes on even further to say that 12% of people say they feel like they've lost entire decades on their mental health. So it's a crazy amount of lost time. And there was one other one here. Here we go. 8 in 10 people admit that within the last year alone, their mental health has robbed them of simple pleasures. So
that I get, but
yeah.
I wonder if, like, I know when I'm depressed, sometimes it's just like the perception of time. Maybe I am depressed for like 3 weeks, but I still got stuff done, and I was still a father, and I was still, it wasn't like it's just gone. And I don't know.
That's one of the reasons I got a dog, was because before I had a dog that like required me to take him out and feed him and rub his belly as often as I possibly can throughout the day. It's kind of one of those things where I would have days where I would just like not, I would just be in a haze, and I still kind of have those days where I'm in a haze. But, I kind of have things I know I can do to force productivity now for myself, even if that productivity is going on a walk or something simple. Right. But it is really, it's really hard to kind of navigate time when you're feeling that way. And I think
It is.
realizing the amount of people that are feeling that way was it was a little bit alarming, but also kind of that like reminder of, oh my God, there's so many more people suffering with depression, like pretty severe depression, that you're losing time. And I thought that was like kind of, again, alarming, but also, geez, like we're really struggling as a society right now.
Yeah. It's also in a weird way comforting because you're not alone. You know that other people know what it feels like or what you're going through. So then, because that's one of the symptoms they say of depression is like feeling alone, feel like you're the only one on earth kind of feeling this way. But it's like, but anyone that's going through depression feels that way, and at least 1 out of 10 people are feeling that at any moment.
Yeah.
So in a weird way, it's comforting to know other people are feeling that way, even though you don't want other people to feel that way.
It just makes me wonder too, when I look around like my social circle, and I know this is a trauma response, and I just saw a meme about this, but the isolation piece of depression, I think, is really, no matter, like, I can read this and say, oh, I see so many people are struggling. 8 out of 10 people are struggling with, similar symptoms. It still doesn't help because I don't necessarily feel like the people in my life or my circle are. And that's what makes it difficult. Does that make sense?
Absolutely.
Because that's great. Some random stranger and I could maybe have a session where we just sit there in silence and be depressed together. But but like that's not really the representative stuff in my life right now.
Yeah. Or maybe you do have friends going through it, but
They don't say it.
the other symptom is we isolate. We don't say shit. So, so it's like, yeah, it's hard. Well, I mean, I actually started it's like a 12-step group for depression here in my hometown years ago. And like,
Oh, wow.
just a handful of people would come out because, that's the nature of the beast. It's like, you
Shame.
don't seek help. Yeah. And even for myself, like everything I know and I tell people, it's like, but when I'm feeling crappy, I still do all the stuff I tell people not to do.
Same. Yeah. Same. I mean, I tell people all the time, you're not alone, even though I feel alone. It's really interesting. So I guess it's like one of those things where I read this article and I'm like not really surprised, maybe a reminder, but I don't even know like how to solve this. It just feels like we're heading in a direction that we can't change. And, we talk about them sometimes here too, like little tweaks around mental health days at schools and AI therapists and all of these, things that can maybe make it more accessible. But at the same time, it kind of feels sometimes like it's not accessible.
We were just talking before I hit record. I did this big speaking event last week, and I haven't been in a crowd of like more than, the grocery store in probably a year. And it was amazing just how much that made me feel alive. And like, I'm shaking hands and talking to people and like connecting and community, that. Meeting people and connecting and socializing. I mean, I'm the type of guy that after that day, I needed 3 days of not doing that.
Me too.
But
I had a speaking engagement last week for work, and I am still recovering from that. And I talked for 3 minutes.
But at the same time, but at the same time, I mean, stuff like that is happening less and less because everyone could just go on Zoom and have their big meetings or conferences and stuff. And I don't know if that has anything to do with it or not, but it sure made me feel alive for a couple of days. Was that going out and socializing and connecting and what do they call that?
In the article, they
networking.
Do. Yeah. And in the article, they do give suggestions to prioritize. And one of them was connect with others. So, it wards off, I think it said it like wards off loneliness and depression and, keeping your strong relationships and your activities. Here it is. Do activities like joining clubs and groups and volunteering or attending community events can also be valuable. Stress management, avoiding alcohol and drugs, set goals and priorities, take breaks. That's one thing I need to do. And I actually made a point to myself today that I'm going to start taking more breaks throughout the day because at the end of the day, I am just torched. Like my brain is just torched. So I think that's something people need to make time to do too.
Yeah.
And I used to be really good at it. I let myself get not good at it.
I'll work, like I'll get up and do work sometimes 6, 7 in the morning, and I go to bed sometimes at midnight, 1 o'clock, and I'm still working. But I'll have a 2-hour break, a 4-hour break, sometimes a 5-hour break. It's
Yeah.
like, so that's just that's how I work best. Like to just sit and work for 8 hours straight, I can't do it. So
I would work best that way too. I actually,
Yeah.
I have a lot of structure in my work because I have so much going on my plate right now. But it has to be very structured to do that. But at the same time, like sometimes I have to move stuff around because I'm feeling more inspired to do this or that. And I do like I write better at night, so like I'll do a lot of my writing stuff at night for work. And I think I need to like get better at, okay, well, if I'm going to be writing for 3 hours after work, then I need to make sure I take 3 hours during work to do something else, But that's hard too when you're relying on other people relying on you. So it'll be a work in progress, I'm sure, but I'm going to try to be better at it.
And like we said in past episodes, hugging someone and touching, huh?
Yeah.
See?
Makes a big difference.
Rub your belly's dog. What? Your dog's belly, I mean. Your belly doesn't have a dog. As far as I know.
It doesn't.
Okay.
So yeah, anyway, I'm glad I found this article because it kind of resonated with me a little bit. And a good reminder, even though I wish it upon no one, that other people feel like they lose time to their mental health struggles too. So not alone out there, guys. We are not alone.
Technically.
Right.
Okay. Well, I found an article today and I actually chuckled out loud a few times. I don't know if it was supposed to be kind of humorous.
Was it Elmo again?
Nope. And it wasn't Steve from Blue's Clues.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, he kind of did a similar thing the other day. But anyway, it's not about him either. This is called Who Likes Loud Cars? Ontario study suggests they skew young male and score high on psychopathy and sadism.
What?
So
loud cars?
Yes, there's a professor, Professor Julie Aitken Shermer, professor of psychology and management in organizational studies at Western University in London, Ontario, was walking her dog one day, and these young guys are going by with their loud cars, with their big mufflers, and apparently annoyed her. So then she thought, I'm going to do a study on who the hell are these people?
These psychopaths.
So she, did a study on a bunch of young people. I think it wasn't quite half men and half women, but it was pretty darn close. Few were others. They were asked if they viewed their car as an extension of themselves, how much they thought loud cars were cool, and if they would make their car louder with muffler modifications if they could. She also gave them the short, dark tetrad personality measure. I guess it's some kind of personality test or something. And when she got the results, she expected to see a strong correlation between someone who prefers a look at me, exhaust system, and narcissism. But that wasn't the case. It wasn't narcissism. It was actually, we found that it was mostly sadism and psychopathy was predicting who wants to modify their mufflers. So I thought that was funny. And then this is on CBC, and the journalist is Colin Butler. So then he went and talked to a shop that puts on loud mufflers, and they said, this is a stereotype. It's a way for somebody to stand out in a society that wants you to conform. It was her quote, which makes me laugh because isn't that what psychopathy or sadism kind of is?
It is. Yeah, that's a good point.
Made me laugh, but her point was like it's mostly like old dudes who go to car shows and stuff like this, and so then they went. back
go
to
on.
the journalist, then went back to the professor, and the professor's like, no, I didn't. Like, that's not the kind of people I'm worried about, because you know there are old dudes like loud trucks and they just go to shows. They're not the ones like doing street drag racing and stuff. So she said, yeah, it is kind of skewed towards more that crowd. So anyway, if you're a parent and your kid has a loud car, they're probably a sadistic psychopath.
I got nothing else to add.
Yeah, you like that?
Got nothing else to add. We're done.
I mean, I don't know how accurate that is, but maybe it's just that town. I don't know, but I thought it was kind of funny that I thought the whole thing was kind of silly.
It is kind of silly. I mean, it seems like she got triggered and then just was like on the hunt to find something to prove this out.
Yeah, I know. She was like looking for narcissism.
Yeah, exactly.
And then she's like, even better, they're psychopaths. Yeah, that's the problem with like, I don't know. I don't think it was a peer reviewed study or anything. I don't know. I did say anything like that. So yeah, but, maybe chuckle anyway. Just some annoyed person that has access to test subjects, I guess.
So she just literally said it was because she got annoyed by a loud car driving by.
Let's see. For Julie Aiken-Shermer, professor of blah, 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 they'd rumble by as she walked her dog just south of the campus. Every day we came across these loud cars and pickup trucks and motorcycles that are backfiring, and I would get startled, she said. My dog would get startled. I see the animals run away that are in the trees, the squirrels, on the ground. I thought, oh, who really wants to make this kind of noise? And so, a typical academic, I went and did an extensive search and found nothing. So then she did a study. So I think she was just like Googling or something.
Yeah.
And then she actually did a study and, asked those questions, surveyed 529 undergrad business students. So maybe it's just business students actually that are psychopaths.
I mean, if they're, they say, what do they say? Like, I'm going to actually look this up real quick. The psychopaths and CEOs.
Yeah.
I'm looking that up real quick.
She interviewed a bunch of Trumps.
Positions. Yeah. Senior business position. Geez, I can't speak. Senior business positions exhibit psychopathy prevalence rates at about 3 to 4%. Wow.
Well, and then
1 in 5 business leaders are psychopaths, and here's why from 2019.
I wonder what the general population is.
Maybe that will be my
I think.
next story we do.
Okay.
CEOs are psychopaths.
So yeah, that's my hot take on loud cars, I guess.
So what would you say if your kids were into loud cars? I mean, you obviously institutionalize them immediately.
I was just going to say that. Do the psych ward with you, son. Meanwhile, the CEO of the muffler company is a psychopath.
Yeah, I wonder if they have any comments on it. That would be fun to hear. What do you think, Ford Mustang?
Yeah. It'd be interesting to see what the ones that did kind of come up as possible psychopaths and sadists, what kind of car they drove. Man, there's so many flaws in this study.
I mean, that's why I'm like, she literally just got triggered and then reacted. And that's what happens, right? People get triggered and then they react. So,
yeah, bless her. It was still fun to read.
Bless her heart. You know what? I think at least she didn't just complain about it. She tried to conduct a study. So I'll give her that.
Yes, as flawed as it might be.
Yeah.
Well, that's it, I guess. If you have any articles or comments, or if you have a hot take on our hot take, let us know in the show notes there. You can message or find either one of us. And thanks for coming out.
Yeah, thanks for listening with us today. And all of those links to these stories will be in our show notes. This has been our mental health headline hot takes.
We're so glad you came.
Remember, when you heal yourself,
you heal the world.
Be sure to like this video, leave comments, and suggest articles for future episodes.
Hit subscribe to Eyes Wide Open
And Bunny Hugs and Mental Health.